Yeah, coming at you next. It's the No 15 Allcast, and we're going to be talking about Loki, the new show on Disney Plus from the MCU. We're going to be covering episode 1 and episode 2, and yeah, what we think is going to be happening moving forward. So check it out. On this episode, I have Special K and Rahuhl The Zeltron joining me, and we get into it pretty deep. Here we go. Oh, so yeah, we just all watched that second episode of Loki right now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is No 15 Allcast. Tonight, I'm joined by Rahuhl The Zeltron.
Hey.
And I got Special K on as well.
What up?
And we're going to talk about the first 2 episodes of Loki. We actually just finished watching the second episode. And no wheel names tonight. No 30-second challenge. We're just going to basically talk about what we just saw, what we've seen so far. What'd you guys think of so far what you've seen, I guess, of the show? It's been 2 episodes.
Yeah, so far I like it. The production, the directing, I guess. Yeah, I'm digging it.
Nice.
Yeah, so far it's interesting. It's nice to see kind of a Loki-centric series here. I'm not a big fan of like the playing with time, and really not my cup of tea. I think I've said it before. It can lend itself to lazy writing, but they're doing this very well. I actually do enjoy the way they're doing this so far. I like the formation, the idea of the TVA. I'm digging it. I think they're doing a good job so far.
Nice.
They've got a lot of, small details that you pay attention to.
So what do you think? What do you think, Caesar?
Yeah, I agree. It's like we've watched 2 episodes so far. One thing I tried to, I guess, be cognizant of was that this is not like, this Loki isn't the Loki from, Endgame or from Ragnarok or, from, what is it? The Dark Elves one with Thor, the Dark World?
Thor, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it's not that Loki either. It's like Loki right after the Avengers, basically. Mm-hmm. So this is like, that's one thing that I was like trying to remember. Like, he hasn't experienced any of that stuff. So when he sees it, like in that first episode, when he sees it, like, I think it kind of does change him a little bit. I know he is the god of mischief, but it kind of also, I think it actually did humanize him a little bit in that first episode.
Yeah, you know what? That's red herring right there.
You think so?
Yeah, because
but he was by himself when they showed.
But like in the title, in the title, it's Loki with all these different letters. So
changing around.
Yeah, changing around. So I think that's referring to the different Lokis that they were explaining in the second episode right now that we just saw. All the variants of the Lokis. And but Loki, no matter what he's in, what kind of disguise he's in, what kind of shape-shifting form he's in, he's still Loki. That kind of reminds me of that one what's that parable of the scorpion and the frog or something like that?
It's like, what you expect I'm a scorpion?
Right, yeah. That's who I am.
Yeah.
But we're both gonna die. Yeah, but I'm still a scorpion and I'm still gonna, sting you.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, I can see where you're going there. I can see it both ways. In episode 1, it definitely, to me, that scene where he's kind of watching, it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it, but he's watching the future essentially, and he sees how he dies. Spoiler alert. And spoiler alert on everything. So,
yeah, pretty much.
We don't have Oscar to say it.
So he sees himself how he dies, and like he does it by himself. He kind of does seem to have a moment, but at the same time, here in episode 2, where he's talking to the variant, or who he perceives to be the variant. He kind of like, I'm I'm plotting my own thing here. So he's kind of like, I am stabbing these guys in the back. So you can't ever tell if he's telling the truth. If you don't know if he's ever being sincere or not. So to Raul's point, yeah, you don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right. You just don't know. And the devil's greatest trick is to make you believe he doesn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, when he saw his mom die in that thing, I think that touched him because he, you know,
his adopted mom.
Yeah, his adopted mom. So he shed a tear. Like, I think I understand like his motives and his way of operating are mischievous regardless, but I think he did have a moment there in the first episode. I don't think he was lying to himself when he was crying about his mom dying. So like, I feel like
he knows he's being watched. Like in the TVA, you know, they make him sign that stack of papers. This is every word you've ever uttered.
Oh yeah. And he says, "What?" It prints out another sheet. He has to sign that sheet.
Yeah. So he knows he's being watched. So he's playing the role. He's playing into it. That's just what I think.
That's it. I don't know. I think he felt something there.
Well, that's actually an interesting point because the timekeepers know everything. If they know all the timelines, how it's all going to shake out. Yeah, they would know that he's watching that. So then he has to play along and shit.
Right.
Otherwise, they would know he's bullshit.
Exactly. There you go.
You say you can never tell when they have these kind of plots in like series or movies. You can never tell how they're going to go with it. So it's hard to kind of predict which direction.
I think because in that actual, you know, kind of going back to that Thor: The Dark World, and he does act like nothing bothered him when his mother dies in that film. But then when Thor tells him no more tricks, he sees like how devastated he was by her dying. Like everything in the room that he really showed. He was showing like, yo, it didn't bother me at all or nothing. And then all of a sudden when they wipe it away, you see like the room's tore up and he's devastated. I honestly think he did like feel something for his adopted mom. So, you know, that's me personally though.
Because you feel something for your mom and you're transferring that feeling onto. I mean, you would be devastated if something happened to your mom, even if you were Loki, even if you were the god of mischief. But the god of mischief doesn't give a shit.
But he's not a god, though. That's one thing that they make clear to him in the TVA. He's like, you guys think you're gods, but you're not. That's just his character.
Well, his
he's got to play into it regardless.
Yeah. So in that first episode, at the very working through everything, you see the TVA for the first time. You see the place, like how like grandiose they make it look. Do you guys think this is real? Or is it something else going on?
Well, listen, I think there's definitely something else going on. I think that the timekeepers, there's something more to that, and I'm sure that's going to get fleshed out here with the next few episodes.
Yes.
There's for sure something else going on. And I think that other variant, I think that they're aware because they don't Loki's like, hey, let's work together. We can overthrow. I need a lieutenant to overthrow the timekeepers. They're like, I'm not interested in the timekeepers. This isn't about you. So I think they know the timekeeper thing is something that's not as grandiose as what the TVA says that it is. So I think I think there is something else going on here. The TVA, I don't know. I don't know if it's legitimately like the TVA or if it's a cover for some other thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting the feeling that the timekeepers actually, are puppets and they don't really exist. They're just like an image to follow.
It's like a fable, right?
Yeah.
I was getting skeptical of it myself too, because it's like his boss. I was almost getting the vibe like I don't know if that's really his boss. Like I feel like maybe it's somebody else with another motive. If that is a real place, but like he says, one of the clues in the second episode, he says, Mobius says that I've never actually met them before.
Yeah.
Or seen them, right? So it's like, kind of fishy
right
there too.
She reaffirms, oh yeah, they've never been so involved as they are now. It's like, wait a minute, if they're that involved, where are they?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting now go ahead.
The whole TVA thing, it sort of reminded me of like the Citadel of Ricks from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And that actually is reminiscent of like I think it was called the Council of Reeds, where they had every iteration of Reed Richards that there is in the
Multiverse.
multiverse. Yeah.
That's one thing that I think is starting to stem from this show is the multiverse. Like they're kind of dipping their toes in there and kind of showing you what different variants, different versions of Loki. Obviously, they got to be from a different, universe.
Universe. Yeah.
So that's how they're kind of creating the multiverse in a way. I almost thought that was the Enchantress. She's always with Loki in the comics. She's also wears.
Yeah. She, the Enchantress. Yeah.
It is the Enchantress, right?
Yeah. It is.
That's what I thought it was in the show for a second. I was like, is that the Enchantress, not Loki?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Kind of
That
looks like her a little bit. So I was like, yeah, because she's a witch too, right? So
yeah.
and doing all the sorcery and everything. Especially in that second episode, that female Loki, I guess. Did you guys right away at the end of the first episode, you see like someone wearing a cloak? They show at the very end.
Right at the very end of the first episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, who is that? And then this episode, second episode, we just saw is like kind of to get that reveal at the end. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. Just everything. What you guys think so far? Like of that second episode, what you guys saw?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I mean, this is like one of those shows where I think this series is only going to be, is it 8 episodes? Six episodes. Okay, so yeah. It's like, man, that's gonna fly by. That's actually gonna go out pretty quickly. So, no, I like it. I like the character of Mobius. I think Owen Wilson was a phenomenal casting for that. He's doing a great job.
Yeah,
he's blown out of the water. I freaking love that character. He's doing a great job at that. Obviously Loki's great. It's good. I mean, I do like the tension. I like the tension they're creating between him and like the TVA, the Minutemen. I didn't catch the name of like the leader, the lady who's like leading the unit. I like the tension between her and Loki. That's cool. So yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's great. And the production value is we're watching a Marvel film here. You know what I mean? That's
right.
This is a Marvel film chopped up into 6 episodes, just like Falcon Winter Soldier was, just like WandaVision was. I mean, these are freaking these are Marvel, movies that are just chopped up into series. And I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
A whole other level.
I think it's Hunter B-15 is the
B-15. Yeah, that's right.
B-15 gets enchanted in that second episode and gets controlled. So.
Now, what do you guys? C-20 is the one that gets kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you guys think that she's referring to when she says it's real? That's real. She just keeps going on and on about it's real.
I didn't know.
That has to be something deep. I think it's like something that we don't know yet. Maybe in the TVA, that's like either a myth or a fantasy or something that's been discussed. That
like a rumor or something.
Like a rumor.
Oh, the rumor is real, or the lie is real, or something like that.
And then they're like, I just want to go home. So it's like, okay, so does this mean everything? Everything's bad, so you just want to see your loved ones, and because some bad shit's about to happen.
Yeah, maybe. But that's another thing. The people who are in the TVA, were they born there? Were they raised there? Or were they plucked out of time to work there for them? Or that's something that I don't know, kind of bothers me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they said they were created by the timekeeper, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, that's I guess it's part of this show too, man. Like the whole you second guess everything, right? Because Loki is like you guys said, the god of mischief, so he can see when something is a ruse, and like he's like, you guys actually buy all this propaganda, huh? Like he kind of tells them that he's like, you really believe it, and Mobius kind of tells him, well, you believe all that stuff about where you come from, so it's not that different.
Yeah, it is strange because it's like this, like what Rahuhl was saying. It's like it's this huge, like they show, I guess it's like a city or something that they're in. It's like this huge, sprawling, like technologically advanced place. Right? I mean, it's like crazy technology we can't even imagine. But then they have like paperwork and paper copies of everything. They go to the library and like pulling out paper files. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of strange. Like there's a little, and maybe there's enough for a stylized, because it's just it's a style choice they made in the production of the show here, I guess, because it's gonna be boring to watch somebody click on a computer screen for, you know what I mean? Or like Minority Report with Tom Cruise, who's like doing the whole like glove thing on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, you do that for so long, people are like, okay, I'm tired of that. But watching a guy like kind of sitting bored in a library and flipping through paperwork, I mean, we all kind of can understand what that is like or what that feels like, and it kind of gives a certain ambiance to the scene. So I don't know if it's a style choice, or maybe that means something more about what the TVA really is.
Because that guy, that clerk guy who gets his juice stolen, when he says he makes a reference to like something like a fish, and he's like, "What's a fish?"
Yeah.
So apparently they're born and raised in the TVA, because he doesn't even know what a fish is. So, but it's not overtly mentioned, or it's not obvious. So
actually, I have a. So Caesar was asking this right before we started, came on. Is the TVA, is that part of the comic book series at all? Does the TVA come up at all in the comics?
The TVA is in the comics.
Okay, all right, so it's a comic book.
It's in there.
Okay,
but I'm pretty sure it's something like something like the Doctor Who and the Time Lords, where they're outside of time. They're not in time. They're completely outside of time.
Separate of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense for this too, because they're jumping in and out of different times, so they can't be in one timeline. They have to be kind of out of it to jump in and out of it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing I was curious too.
So many people in the TVA, and do they all work for the TVA, or does it have its own like society outside of the offices? Or I need a little bit more.
Yeah, like I get this is almost like while we were watching it, and in the second episode when they were like kind of walking through and they're asking Loki, did you see the videos? Did you do the training? I was getting like a little bit of Men in Black vibe. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like it's going behind the scenes of what's really going on. That's kind of like the vibe I was getting from the TVA a little bit, because they're like, as you know, basically you don't exist, right?
You know, there's some similarities there. You know what I mean? They show up, they take care of business, they get the little flash here and erase your memory. This when they show up, they do their business and reset the timeline, pop that little thing and leave, and it resets, changes everything back to the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, it definitely has some Men in Black vibes. That's for sure. That's a good call.
That's what I was kind of getting at too. So I was like, so the sacred timeline is, basically what can't be disrupted, right? And in the second episode, spoilers, it gets at the end. We're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, going forward now, it'd be interesting to see where this goes, because now it's almost like it can go in any direction. Because again, spoiler alert for episode 2 here. Basically, this variant bombed. They said they bombed the timeline, the sacred timeline, with all these resetter things. So basically, now there's all kinds of branches from the main timeline. So it seems like this is going to be a chase through time now. Is what the rest of the series is going to be. It should be interesting, because it's going to not only be a chase through time, but it's going to be a chase through alternate timelines, like the way things could have happened differently. Like in this, in early in episode 2, when they're going over like a training thing before a mission, and they're going through like the variations of Loki, and there's the one, I think, Rahuhl, you called it out. It was the Lance Armstrong variation. Which is, I mean, that's kind of, like, hey, Lance Armstrong is a liar, and he, defrauded a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cold. It's pretty cold.
Yeah, dude. Like that. Oh man.
But
it's
so, or is Lady Loki going throughout, different timelines and basically recruiting other Lokis?
Could be. I mean, there's so. I think this has to lead up into an event somewhere. It's going somewhere.
It's got to be a Nexus event.
And it is a Nexus event, but it's like one of the next things in the MCU, which is kind of like what I was thinking, like after, what we seen these 2 episodes, and there's a lot of rumors about Kang coming to the MCU. He's gonna definitely be in it. I think he's already been cast. But like, is this leading towards that? Because he's kind of like a villain through time. You
Yeah,
know.
he lives outside of time, and there is a council of Kangs as well.
Yeah.
Like future Kangs sit on a council, and they decide what other Kangs should do.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
it'll be interesting.
as a matter of fact, I think there might be three major Kangs who sit on the council.
Really?
Ah, ah.
Mm. Now that's
Oh,
interesting,
now we got a
dude.
Interesting.
now we got a theory brewing.
The timekeepers.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. It's yeah, it's interesting. That's super interesting
Now,
when you think
now,
about it.
now, see, this is what happens when people that read comics and like the characters get
Make the show.
together and make a show and are creative. You can't just
Uh,
grab anyone, just any old run of the mill director and say, direct a comic book movie.
Yeah, I mean they've tried that in the past, and I mean
I
DC will
keep
tell you
telling you guys,
DC will tell you how that goes, but you just look at some of their box office numbers. But uh, yeah, I mean you can definitely tell, man. Like we've talked about this before, but they have whatever they're gonna do, they got it all planned out. They're the Loki of these movies. Like they are
you know what? That's a great
yeah,
analogy.
they are 10 steps ahead of everybody on where
Yeah,
they're gonna go with the story. They for sure
mhm.
know. Yeah, well, obviously they've made things, so they know where it goes, but they already know like through probably 2030 what they're gonna be doing with this story, this storyline, these plot, these characters. Like, they know exactly where all this goes. And they're being very thoughtful about it. I mean, they're being very creative with how they're playing with all this. I really appreciate it. Like I'm not a huge comic book guy, but just from the movie perspective, that's why I'm so impressed because just from the movie, like a movie perspective, I mean, they're killing it. I mean, this is really great film, great TV.
Yeah. It's something I never thought like I'm glad we're seeing it now, but it's something I never thought we would see when I was
Mm-hmm.
a kid. I was like, I'm just gonna keep reading my comics because the effects sucked back then, but now we're at a place
oh
where
man,
like
did they ever?
case in point, the original Fantastic Four movie was terrible. And I'm not talking about the one with like Jessica Alba and
No,
your old
oh, that
girlfriend.
which was bad as well.
It was bad, but hey, all honesty, that's one of my guilty pleasures. I'll watch Fantastic Four, man, even though it's terrible.
Yeah, you know those
Um,
made for TV movies,
but
those
the made for
original,
TV ones,
those
God,
Spider-Man
so
ones, you could
bad.
actually see
Yeah.
the strings or the I don't even know what you call them to. When he's
We always talk
climbing a
about that one with
building.
Jerry, and he's
Oh,
like,
the
Yeah.
tentacles, yeah.
he's not even, he's running everywhere because he can't use webs back in the day on the show. So that shit is just how it was, man. But now it's like Kyle said, it's the cinematic quality is amazing for the shows that they're doing in MCU.
And it's
Um,
interesting. It's interesting how they're jumping from the small screen to the big screen and then back to the small screen.
Mm.
yeah, right now that's like, I think Kyle put up, upcoming projects that are coming from the MCU. I mean, we got WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we got Loki, and then Black Widow comes out next month. And then
Yeah,
later on in the year, Shang-Chi comes out.
Yeah, in July.
And
And that's right around the corner.
yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. Like, I feel like after seeing that second episode, I know there are timekeepers like in the comics, but thinking about the whole Kang angle would be pretty awesome to do that. Maybe it's too soon, but they have to introduce a Fantastic Four somehow, right, into the
yeah,
MCU.
yeah. Because Kang is tied to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited, man. I'm hoping like this show. I'm really curious, like where it's gonna end up going. Like, is this gonna be a situation where Loki does end up surviving, like, and doesn't
Got
get
to.
wiped out, or you know?
Yeah, this might be how they save the character and prevent his, forever death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, I mean, I'll be honest. Again, I don't want to. I'm not trying to spoil the whole thing, and I don't know how this goes. But my theory is he's going to do something. Going back to what you were saying earlier, that he's obviously. I think he might be more humanized. I believe he's probably going to do something that's going to be like beneficial and helpful and save the world or save a timeline or save something. he's going to be rewarded with life. Like he's going to be rewarded with a change in the timeline. That's how I see this happening, and that's how we're going to get him in future shit.
If he does something beneficial, it's only, for example, he's gonna stop the destruction of the earth. But the only reason he would stop the destruction of the earth is so he could have an earth to conquer.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, and if he did something that would earn him a way of changing the timeline so he doesn't die, I mean, that would be in his benefit. So if doing something good meant he would benefit from it, yeah, that's something Loki would do, I think. He's not typically does good things, but I think if it behooves him, he will.
But it only seems on the surface to be a good thing, but deep down he's doing it for himself.
Right. He's doing a good thing for a bad reason, or he's doing a good thing not for a very altruistic reason. He's doing it for selfish reasons.
Yeah. Something that looks good, but it's really bad under the surface, or just mischievous. Some ulterior motive, like the whole DB Cooper thing, dude. In the first episode, he's like,
that was awesome.
He did it on a bet, right? He said it was a bet, like, I lost a bet with Thor and who did he say? And Heimdall or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Heimdall. Yeah,
I think we're going to see more of that as the series progresses here over the next 4 episodes. I think we're going to see more and more of like historical events are going to have been secretly Loki. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see like which ones they tie in. Like in episode 2 here, I mean, he wasn't responsible for it, but they go back to like Pompeii, the destruction of Pompeii, which is an interesting thing, So it's going to be cool to see like what other world events, like actual historical world events, they kind of reference and go back to and recreate with kind of how Loki is utilized or navigates that situation.
Loki caused the Great Chicago Fire. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Wow. They're going to find ways to like pin Loki with things. Now they're not going to go crazy. It's not going to be like Loki caused JFK's assassination or something, probably. But they're gonna weave him into some storylines in the past. That's going to be interesting to see how they do that creatively.
Yeah, and it definitely it seems like he has it in for this other Loki too. Like he like in that second episode, it felt like he kind of got the best of him. So he's like, do I stick around the TVA or do I go after this other Loki? And I think
it's a matter of pride.
Yeah, it's pride. So he's like, I gotta keep going, and then he just wants to see where it's going too. I think.
Well, especially after that variant turned into big country and beat his butter on that Walmart, that future Walmart, Rock Smart or something they called it.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so since they're both Loki, they both have the same amount of strength, right?
Yeah.
That's why he was able to beat himself off.
Yeah. In theory, yeah.
Yeah. It was cool though. It was cool to see that. It just, like I said before, it just kind of keeps your mind guessing until where it's going to go next, which I think is probably what they wanted in a way with this show. It's all, again, it's about the God of Mischief, like, the character for the comics, and that's what it is. Then
that's something that I really appreciate, because like WandaVision was all over the place. It was just like crazy, insane. But that was, like I said before in another episode, that it was a reflection of what they did in the comics, in the miniseries of Vision and Wanda and Vision. It was crazy. It was all over the place. You had to read that thing like a couple times to get the idea straight in your head, and the idea that there's double cross after double cross after double cross in Loki is just a reflection of the character.
Yeah,
and they're doing that so well. And again, that just goes to show that someone who read and appreciate the original source.
And what else is kind of interesting is, kind of looking up at the Marvel like slate of stuff coming out, like a lot of it, majority of it is all like, heroes. There is no other villain that has a show on the slate, really. I mean, it's all like, you got the Eternals coming out, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, the new Doctor Strange coming out, Thor, the next Black Panther, All that stuff's coming out within the next year, 2 years, and Loki's the only one there that's like really focused on, a villain. So to me, it kind of is that an indicator of like this has to be the beginning of what's next? Like, is this like as far as the villain goes?
Right, because they wouldn't just throw in a villain just because, right? There has to be a reason behind
Yeah,
it. I
that's
see
what
what
I'm
you're
thinking
saying.
too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, either that or Tom Hiddleston's got a great agent. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, I think there's something there. You're right. I mean, to point that out, that of everything on the slate, Loki is the only villain with his own thing. That that's not an accident. That's definitely that's going to be part of the story here going
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy too because in the first, phase, or not the first phase, but the last one, he was in Avengers as the main villain with the scepter, and then that scepter is used in the second Avengers film. Third film, you know, that's where we see Loki, get killed by Thanos, getting the Tesseract, right? The other Infinity Stone before he completes the gauntlet. But it's like he has a lot to do with this universe, and they're kind of like making sure it's still part of it. It's a kind of a prominent piece, but it's not like the main piece, but it seems like it's important.
Mm-hmm. No, I was gonna say I would like to see, because it's a lot of these series, like WandaVision and Wanda and Vision, who they were they were prominent characters, but they weren't main characters. Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier, again, not main characters. They're prominent characters, but they weren't like the guy. They weren't Captain America, right? They weren't Iron Man. Now you have Loki, who again prominent character in the story, but not the main character. So it's like they're using these series to really build up all these secondary characters, which I think is going to be a culmination in some kind of epic thing that's going forward here. I really want to see how they tie it all together and where they like move it, how far they go with it. I really like the development of the characters. I think they're doing a great job of like turning some of these not background guys, but definitely not fan favorite guys into more of like, hey, look at this development,
Yeah.
That's why I think we're gonna see, to going back to what Seven Seas was saying at the beginning. I think we're gonna see. I know he's the god of mischief. I think we're gonna see some progression. I think we're gonna see a softening of Loki here over this next 4 episodes. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
I think so.
You might see it, but it's a ruse.
Okay.
I gotta just put it out there. It's fake. He's he that's his nature. He lies. Mobius said it too. It's like I'm listening too. And it's all bull crap what he's saying. He almost he even says it. I almost fell for it, but I've been listening too.
Mobius has some funny lines, man. That episode. He said, "Yeah, I'm listening to the greatest liar in history," and I just started laughing. Like, they were getting into the elevator, talking to me.
Yeah, what do you guys think about the dynamic between the character of Mobius and Loki?
It's awesome. They just got great chemistry.
Yeah, it's really good. It's kind of like that buddy cop. You got the buddy cop feeling with them too.
Yeah.
They're playing off each other, and it's it's a buddy. It's like a buddy film at that point when they're together. The way they riff off each other, and it's funny, man. It's great.
Yeah, they have great banter. Going back to your Men in Black comments, you got a little bit of Loki being the Will Smith to Morbius's Tommy Lee Jones, a little bit. So
Jay,
Agent J and Agent K. Man, that would have been a special K. Should have been Agent K. What was it?
Oh man, yeah.
Oh,
switching it up to Agent K.
Too late
K.
now. Too late.
How long? How many episodes did it take you?
No, it's too long. No, it's too many now. I'm too pot committed.
Hey, he's like, I'm sorry, totally off track. But in Men in Black 2, when he has to get him back, he's like, Kevin, you don't look like a Kevin when he gets him back from the post office. But yeah, man, it has that vibe a little bit of Men in Black for sure, I think. But yeah, I'm happy with it, dude. I think out of all these shows so far, this is probably the one. The other ones were really good too, but it's like the one that I feel like has more going on for it in the MCU than the other ones. The other ones are, I feel like, more personal stories, maybe, and this one's the scale is way larger. I feel like.
Well, because it encompasses all time. I
Yeah.
mean, really, that's all there is, right? But I really enjoyed WandaVision because
Yeah.
it got deep into like Wanda's psyche,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
which isn't very external. It's not the external world, but it's an internal world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. WandaVision was of the three. I mean, this now because I mean obviously this was highly anticipated. I was looking forward to this series. I think I was really looking forward to WandaVision because I knew it was gonna be. They were saying it was gonna be something totally different. It was gonna be the first kind of one of these series that they were releasing as part of this phase or whatever. So I was really excited for that one. I am enjoying this one a tad bit more than WandaVision. Like you were just saying, I think this is gonna have more implications on the road for where the universe goes, where the story goes. But WandaVision was great. It's like
Yeah.
1A, 1B. Unfortunately, this is now making Falcon Winter Soldier look like the stepchild of these series. And I felt I
Yeah,
had
kind of.
to,
Yeah.
watching it, I almost felt like that was its destiny. That it was
Yeah.
like this is
Yeah.
because it just like I think I said before when we talked about it last week or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that it almost felt like it was good. It was really good. I'm not saying it was bad. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It progressed those characters properly, but it just kind of it had a feeling of like filler. Like this is gonna fill the
Yes.
gap between one to the other.
Yeah.
Now, like this is the other. We're finally here. And it's like, yeah, that was good, but this is great. You know?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
That's what.
expensive filler.
Yeah. I mean, I was telling Kyle that too. It's just like there's stuff. I feel like you're just waiting for more to happen in that show sometimes, and it
Mhm.
is a filler. There's filler moments, but it is a great journey, and the development of those characters to become who they're gonna be, I guess, in the MCU moving forward. So, but yeah, Loki, I feel like it's different, man. It's got more implications of what's might be happening, with the MCU
Mhm.
moving forward, like Kyle was saying. Yeah, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what comes after like this. I wonder, like, I know Black Widow was supposed to come out last year,
Mhm.
so I wonder how that's gonna tie into everything. If there's
Yeah.
anything that is gonna tie in, and if they had to reshoot stuff, or if they had to change some stuff up so it fits. I'm curious to see how the films, now that they're gonna start coming out after these shows have come out, how they're gonna tie in. So
We think this is they're gonna finagle a way to bring Black Widow back from the dead with these alternate timelines.
listen, I'm hearing like the first reviews are really great for it, and that
Okay.
Florence Pugh's character, I can't say her name, Villanova. I'm about to say Villanova, the university, but I think she plays her sister in the film. Like they're saying that she like knocked it out the park, like and that they look forward to seeing her more in the MCU. So maybe she takes that mantle
Oh,
up
Oh, okay.
of
All right.
the widow. So, but we'll see. I mean, it's a lot coming out, man. I don't know how Shang-Chi's gonna tie into everything. I don't know how
Looks
the Eternals
awesome.
is gonna tie
Looks
into
awesome,
everything.
by the way.
I'm excited to see the Taskmaster
I am
because
too, man.
the Taskmaster has always been a very cool character in the
Yeah,
comics.
yeah. Yep.
Man,
I just
he's
remember
just
him from the game too, the video game back in the day when I was a kid. Like he was, I think he was in one of the Marvel versus Capcoms too. Like, cause he could just
okay. Right.
mimic everybody's moves,
Anything that he
which is
sees,
crazy.
he can do.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's
So
why he's got the bow and arrows, he's got the shield, he's got just everything that the Avengers can do physically.
except I think he hates fighting Deadpool though, because he's so unpredictable. That's one of the funniest things I think in the comics. Like Taskmaster always kind of complains about him. But yeah, I mean, I wonder who's playing that character too. Like which actor is playing Taskmaster? Like we really don't know, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we do. The casting's over a couple years old, right? So we must know. It must be out there somewhere.
You think so?
Gotta be.
Yeah, I think they're saying some British actor, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing I see is there's fan rumors that it's OT Fabini. That's what's rumored, but they don't know. I must have seen something else here. It says he has not yet been revealed. The actor has
Huh.
not yet been revealed.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. I hadn't seen who it is. Like that's why I was curious if that's actually who it is playing Taskmaster or not. But it will be interesting how that ties in. Like,
It's
is
Loki.
that character going to be? It's Loki. Oh man, is there anything you guys are excited for that's coming up from the slate, like MCU wise?
Black Widow and Eternals.
Yeah, I think I don't know some of the casting on that. I'm not quite sure about, but we'll see. I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, it's going to be a huge thing. It's going to be a monster of a movie. So I'm excited for that. Let's get back to the Thor. We're way out for this, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that's coming out. I think in like 2023. That'll be cool. I like those. I like that part of it. The Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. So we'll see. I mean, it's they're gonna be kicking stuff out like every 6 months. It looks like for the next 20 years. So we're gonna get plenty of content. Marvel here.
I'm excited for Spider-Man. To be honest, I want to see what they do with that. The No Way Home, I think it is. Seems like they're fiddling too with the whole multiverse thing in that Spider-Man. So seems like it's gonna be a lot like multiverse stuff going forward. With also the Doctor Strange film too. I'm excited to see what they do with that. So, yeah, man, should be cool. Shang-Chi should be dope too to finally get him in the universe. That'll be dope.
Yeah, because for me, that martial arts Iron Fist didn't cut it. The Netflix one.
I know Scott, if he was here, he'd be defending it, but no, man. He's like, I didn't think it was that bad.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
I think they just got, first of all, the casting for Danny, it was just wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that too.
And then the sort of special. I didn't like the how they did the special effects of the Iron Fist.
The event session is next week, Rahuhl, not this week.
Okay.
But dude, I think this was awesome. Us getting to watch it together was pretty dope. And like our reactions right afterwards, I'm sure it would be a lot different than we've had before. But yeah, it was a good time, man.
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is good.
Nice. And on that note, we will be coming at you again with more content in the future. So that's it for this one.
All right. Looking forward to those next episodes of Loki. I'm itching to find out what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
for sure. So it's all a lie.
Damn. And that's the end of this quick little review of Loki episode 1 and 2. And you know what? If you guys want a quick hits, there's an episode 3 review by me. A quick little 15-minute episode, talking about the events of episode 3 and what happened afterwards. So you guys can check that out also on the Noam 15 Allcast. So again, for everybody else on the show, thanks for listening, and tune in again soon because we always got more content coming at you. As always, is your boy 7C saying peace out and God bless.